On Wednesday, American President Donald Trump offered a critical piece of advice to his followers on Truth Social. He posted on his account, "This is a great time to buy." This was at 9:37 a.m. EST, just after the New York Stock Exchange opened. 4 hours later, he made a U-turn on his tariffs. He paused and lowered tariffs on imports from most nations for 90 days. And what was the result? The markets soared. The S&P 500 recovered around $4 trillion. That is roughly 70% of the value it lost in previous 4 trading days. Now, speaking of the markets, here's another interesting thing. Trump signed off his Truth Social post with his initials, that is DJT. He uses this sign-off occasionally to indicate that he personally made the post. However, DJT is also the stock symbol for Trump Media and Technology Group, which is Truth Social's parent company. Now, of course, it cannot be said for sure if this was a deliberate indication, but people poured money into the stock regardless. Trump Media soared twice as the broader market and closed 22.6% higher. It rose by a staggering $415 million in just one day. Such a stellar performance by a company that lost around $400 million last year. And do you know which company performed slightly better than Trump's? No points for guessing. It was Elon Musk's Tesla. Of course, this has raised suspicions. Democrats are accusing Trump of market manipulation. Social media is rife with allegations that Trump played a reverse pump and dump scheme, that he drove the stock prices down only to buy them again for cheaper before the prices soar again. Democratic Senator Adam Schiff has called for an investigation into insider trading. So has Senator Elizabeth Warren. Listen to it yourself.
The question is, who knew what the president was going to do? And did people around the president trade stock knowing the incredible gyration the market was about to go through?
Right before Donald Trump declared that some of his tariffs were off again, he sent out a message to his billionaire buddies. He posted, "This is a great time to buy," in all caps. Was that market manipulation? Was it corruption in plain sight? We need an independent investigation into market manipulation because Americans need to know whether President Trump or anyone in his administration manipulated the market to benefit their donors, all while they are working for the American people and while small businesses and those working families are paying a price.
Interestingly, just a day earlier, White House officials had said that Trump would never back off from the tariffs. But now they are claiming that this was his strategy all along, that this is the art of the deal at work. In fact, the announcement appeared to be a surprise for Trump's own trade representative. Jamieson Greer was in the middle of a House Ways and Means hearing when Trump made the announcement of tariff reversals. He was grilled by Democratic Rep. Stephen Horsford. Listen into the conversation.
China increased their tariffs on the United States. Trump blinked.
What's the blink, sir?
What do you know about this pause? What are the details of it?
Well, the details, as I understand it, is that China continues to retaliate. Other countries didn't retaliate. The president 2 or 3 days ago said we wanted to negotiate with those countries that asked for meetings. That's what we're doing.
What are the
We've had
details? How long is the pause? How many days? How many weeks?
I understand it's 90 days. I haven't spoken to the president since I've been in this
So the trade
hearing.
representative hasn't spoken to the president of the United States about a global reordering of trade.
Yes, I have.
And
I've just been in the hearing with you, sir.
But yet he announced it on a tweet? WTF? Who's in charge?
The president of the United States is in charge.
And what do you know about those details?
Well, as I mentioned...
it looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you and paused the tariffs, the taxes on the American people. There's no strategy. You just found out 3 seconds ago, sitting here, we saw you.
We've been discussing a
If
variety
you
of
came
these
here
actions.
knowing that you were going to be turned off, that these tariffs were going to be turned off, why didn't you include that in your opening statement? Why didn't you reference that as part of your testimony?
Well, I don't disclose my conversations with the president, sir.
These were specific questions we asked you all along. What's the strategy? These are real consequences for the American people and small businesses. I had a group of small businesses in my office earlier today talking about the impacts of these tariffs on aluminum and steel. This is amateur hour, and it needs to stop.
Now, there are a few important things to consider here. For how long had the Trump administration been planning this pause on tariffs? Greer mentioned during his hearing that they had been discussing it for some time now. If the move was in fact planned, how is Trump's post on Truth Social justified? What was it, if not an obvious hint? Let us know in the comments. Arzu Tawar for NDTV.